void.
Bell's dead. I spawned middle.
A few videos ago was the video where I talked about how to play as an AR player on Embassy Hardpoint. We went through the map hardpoint by hardpoint and I talked about where you should be, when you should be there, and why you should be there. Someone in the comments of that video asked if I could do the same thing for Zarqwa hydroelectric hardpoint, so that's what we're going to be doing in today's video. There's a lot of trial and error that goes into figuring out how to play maps the correct way, but I think we have it figured out to a pretty decent science, so I'm going to show you what works for me. If you enjoy the video, leave that like and sub down below, but let's look at some footage. So similar to the other video, we're going to go hardpoint by hardpoint and just briefly talk about everything. I'm going to try to be as quick as I can with giving as much information as I can. So we're going to start here, and this side of the map is the less than preferred side to be on for P2. So the break-off we're going to run here is we're going to go to the right instead of going to the left because it's going to be similar to Embassy in the way that I don't really value a lot of P1 time unless we already have P2 spawns. So the break-off we're going to run is we're going to peel off right, and then when you get about here, we're going to cook a nade and throw it right here, and then stun that. That's going to land by the arches right there. Once you take these fights here, because that grenade, if there's someone here, will weaken them up or maybe even kill them. We're going to keep pushing forward. If we get the kill, then we're going to peel off right, and we're going to drop down this way, because this is just the best way to play for P2 spawns. Whenever you get to about here, there might be somebody on that lower part or on top of that rock. If you can win the gunfight, go for it. Then we're going to climb up, and we're just going to keep working our way through. If you want to go all the way around the water, that's fine, but I like to climb up here and then try to take this gunfight here. Then I clear this, then we just keep working our way around. Then just to be extra secure, because Zarqwa hydroelectric has really dumb spawns, I went all the way through spawn just to make sure this spawn is blocked. And then once you come out here, you have to clear top dome probably, but then once you clear top dome, guess what? You go up to top dome, and this is where you're going to want to sit for the rest of P1 and probably the majority of P2. Occasionally, you might have to check the water behind you, but this is pretty much where you're going to want to be on P2 if you're an AR player, maybe even on P4 to some extent, but we'll come back to that hill in a bit. Some other decent places you could be for P2 is up here, because you can get the guys that try to rotate through this way, or you could climb up here, because this is just a good spot to be for both P2 and P4. You can shoot people as they run here, you can shoot people as they run by this way, you can get people off of top dome if you'd like, and you can even shoot people as they just cross that little way, and then you have both water crosses. That's kind of a do-it-all angle, but this rock right here is probably the bane of most people's existence. If you sit up here, you can also watch the outer lane, you can get that lane, you can kill the people that come in bottom ruin. You can also still see top dome, but that's not really your concern if you're back here. But more importantly, you're kind of blocking spawns. So for both P2 and P4, those areas are pretty much where you're going to want to be. But now let's hit the P2 to P3 rotation. Generally, what I just do is I just go straight through where P1 was, and then I just try to work the top angle here. If you get kills here, that's great. If not, you're going to have to find a new approach to get in, so we're just going to jump around. Though you have angles on the side here. Not the best gunfights to take with an AR, but sometimes you just gotta go. And then at this point, people should still be spawning in the back, and that's honestly what you want. It's just so easy to manipulate these spawns and then trap the enemy team in this back building and then just force them to spawn there. Because you can go prone here and literally shoot them as they come out of that door and then watch if they cross to the water, which you can calm to your teammates. And then if you have the presence of mind and you're good at counting, you can realize the timings are off, that they're not coming to that doorway or diving out, then you just shift your aim over here and shoot that way whenever they peek from there. Or you can rotate back and watch this little angle. Like, it is so easy to spawn trap people in that back building, it's kind of silly. You can also play from inside of the hill. You can watch that back angle from right here. You can sit right here and watch the P5 angle. Or you can get even a little bit more aggressive and sit on top of this thing and just watch the steps and then shoot them as they run by here. Like, there's just so many places to sit and cheese the back spawns. Now, believe it or not, unless you're early rotated already to P4 and you just got there and you didn't have to worry about fighting anybody, the way to break P4 is similar to how we broke P2, except we're just going the opposite direction. But assuming they're not stacking the dome side of the map, that's basically where we're just gonna go. If we hit out the left side as a team, your SMG players go through the water, then you come up the top dome. Those angles I showed you earlier from back rock and that rock right there, they work the opposite way as well. You can even get on top of the dome to get more height over the situation. This gives you an angle on the player that might be there on the back rock, right there, top ruin if they're there. And then once you break P4, the story is really similar to P2 on where you're going to want to set up the play. Right there, and then top dome. So on that note, I really don't have a lot else to say on P4. It's way more complicated in-game than it is explaining, just because you have to win the gunfights, and that's not a guarantee. But on the final rotation, now we're going to hit out to P5. We're going to just hit out the left side here, coming from P4, and you can push to the back, and then right here is a pretty nifty power position for P5, because you can get the spawners, because chances are it's going to be similar to P3, where they spawn in that room or back gas. Because if they're spawning in the back, you just shoot them as they run by this way, then if they're spawning in the front, it's the exact same story. You just shoot them as they come around that corner, come through that alleyway, or if they hit the bottom right, you're there. There just isn't a lot to really worry about as an AR player on Hydro. It's more so just positioning and timing. If you can shoot straight, you're gonna win the gunfights when you're on the power positions. It's just the way of the beast.
Hardpoint. Capture and hold the target area.
2 more arches. 1 top, 1 in the arch. In the arch dead. Top is weak.
Fuck.
Hardpoint compromised. Secure the area.
Arches dead.
That was dumb.
In the back dead.
Top dome.
Top dome is
Locating
absolute.
the next hardpoint. Get ready.
Another one in the back. Weak in the back to a nade, stunned on point.
Enemies inside the perimeter.
Point 1.
We've lost the lead.
Weak.
Weak.
Enemy personnel at the hardpoint. Target area updated. Move to the hardpoint.
Sure, MW2, let him have that life. Dome dead.
The back 1 shot. Dead. I'm stun ruin.
Heavy cross.
I got an airstrike.
Alright.
The perimeter.
Window and front door.
1 went top.
P3.
Or is just not hittable, I guess.
Personnel at the hardpoint.
Dome dead.
It's gonna be front. White on hill.
Enemies inside the perimeter.
Stun somebody water.
Location
He's
updated.
on new.
Capture the hardpoint.
Hill dead. Mid dead.
Front P2. Dead.
Bridge.
Hill dead. Crossing to P3. Top. Top is
Top.
weak. Top is still weak. I'm getting wall bang. Top is still weak, please. There's 3 of you and 1 of him.
The enemy is gaining ground.
Bottom
Top
dome dead.
Target area updated. Move
Blanking
to the
dead.
hardpoint.
I don't know where teammate died from.
Top dome is dead.
Awesome. I spawned P3.
Arch is dead.
Locating the next
Bot.
Front door
Absolute.
dead. Another one front door. In the back. Backed in.
I'm gonna rotate off.
Teammate's on you. Never mind. Just pushing.
Middle. Dead.
Back rock. Door. And hills dead.
2. There's 3.
enemy personnel at the hardpoint.
The guy window.
Hardpoint relocating. Stand by.
2 on you.
We've lost the lead. Hardpoint compromised. Secure
This corner. I spawn people. Cool. You too?
Stun down, they don't have trophies.
In the back.
Hardpoint relocated. Secure the target area.
Ruin and watching the fucking cut.
Front.
Time.
Friendly airstrike in the AO. The mission is complete.